You think I had a chance of winning?
Win, lose, no matter.
No, it's not what I mean.
I had good chance.
Well, can you fix my leg? I mean, with that thing you do?
No need fight anymore. You prove a point.
No, what point? That I can take a beating? I mean, every time I see those guys, they're gonna know they got the best of me.
Week 1 of the 2018 season is in the books. We saw 3 blowouts and 3 close games. Predicting Week 1 results, 9 out of 12 MFLers got at least 4 games right, with Brad and Taylor taking the early lead, while the league as a whole failed to predict stellar performances by 5 free agents, and a few of you left some pretty big point scorers on your bench. Standings through Week 1 look exactly like the preseason predictions, except for Mixing Substances, who has the early stronghold in the San Diego Boys division. Now, while it's probably a bit early for these, the power rankings are here, and nothing looks that much different than how it actually looks in the league. Shout out to our chief data officer, the former Fighting Fizz. We have a new ranking system for all of you woulda, coulda, shoulda MFLers. The potential rank, which shows what you could have been ranked had you played the perfect lineup. And here come your Week 2 matchups. TD feeling better about his roster after Josh Gordon named his starter, but Delaney Walker out for the season and replaced by the injury-prone Jordan Reed, who's been appropriately named sprained eyelid. Meanwhile, Sheridan inserts Chris Thompson into try at flex and hoping that at least one of his running backs can make it to double digits this week. The league, however, not so optimistic, picking in favor of TD in your mouth, 11 votes to 1. Chalupa hoping that the rest of his team will step up this week, although if Alvin Kamara and Drew Brees keep that stuff up, I don't know if you need anybody else. Justin maybe begins life after Adam Thielen after trading for, quote, elite options in Isaiah Crowell and Tyler Eifert. Not sure when or even if that trade's ever going to pay dividends for you, but the league doesn't think it's going to be this week, 10 votes to 2 in favor of Chalupa. The former reigning champ took a close loss last week, but adds Adam Thielen to an already loaded lineup and Jared $31 Cook. His opponent Dino needs Deshaun Watson to wake up and start playing the way he did last year, but is probably just grateful right now to only have lost one person so far to IR. The league agrees with the experts here, picking the rich homie Saquon 9 votes to 3. Cuddy without Le'Veon Bell Cow once again this week, but will ride James Conner hoping for a repeat performance. While the Crichton Jordans hope to avenge a close loss last week, but probably need Matt Stafford to throw somewhere less than 4 interceptions in order to get the win. The league unfortunately not on his side, picking in favor of Cuddy 7 votes to 5. In Week 2's only matchup between 2 teams that actually won their games last week, this one may come down to which Jaguars running back has a better game, although the K-Mish might roll the dice and hit him with the... The league can't seem to make up their mind, though, with a split decision on the votes. The surprise early leader in the San Diego Boys division faces off against a man desperate for a win in this week's Game of the Week. Brad narrowly escaped season ruin last week when Aaron Rodgers came back from injury, all while knocking off the former reigning champ, and this week flexing his confidence in 10-point Tevin. And no need to adjust your screen, Landed is in fact favored here. Although Derrick Henry and Jamal Williams are going to have to do a hell of a lot better than they did last week to pull this one off. The league, however, not trusting the process just yet, picking in favor of Mixing Substances 8 votes to 4. This week's fantasy expert advice from a non-fantasy expert brought to you by our Week 1 Game of the Week winner. Off to a hot start in what could be his first playoff season, MFLers, I give you Cuddy Belcow.
This is an office view from Austin, Texas, home of the MFL Draft 2018. Thought it was only fitting that I would fly here to give this video fantasy football advice from a non-fantasy expert. Today my advice is hatred. Use it to fuel your team. There's a lot of bullying on the internet today, and most of you are assholes for the following reasons. QB19, Bell's backup, old and slow, injury prone, 1 good year. These are the names you have given my team. You didn't care that Le'Veon Bell decides to sit out for more than $800,000 a week. You didn't care that Jerick McKinnon tore his ACL. You didn't care that Cuddy didn't have a running back for week 0. Consequently, also doesn't have a 3rd-round pick next year. You're welcome, Landon. No. Instead, you just spewed hatred and hateful things towards my team. What I told them was to use that to fuel their fire. And they did, scoring the 3rd most points in the league this week, in the hardest division in the league. Half of you are 0-1. If you're like me, you're not. You're 1-0. So I would say your hatred has gotten you nowhere, You need to look in the mirror and assess yourself. Yes, this week's fantasy football advice from a non-fantasy football expert. Just pick up trash off the waiver wire, throw it in, see if it works. So far, so good. Good luck, everyone. I hope you all lose. And I look forward to seeing your hateful remarks to this video. More fuel for the fire. Peace.